back. It's the IEM Sydney 2019 qualifiers for the Southeast Asia region. I'm Elvis Guy. This is Pilly. We've just seen our first map go the way of Boot Dreamscape. It was Nuke. We thought, oh, maybe there's a chance here for Alpha Red. And then Boot kind of did Boot things, and some Boot things are good, some Boot things are bad, but it was good enough such that they were able to get the 16-13 win there on Nuke. Leaves us on to Dust2 now as well, Pilly. I know you've been doing a little bit of thinking in the break here. What have we discovered for Alpha Red about this map?
I mean, so it's a sort of a combination of what happened on the last map as well as just how these two teams sort of veto. The thing is that Alpha Red, they first banned Dust2 throughout this entire qualifier, like against every team pretty much. And then also even when they played all the way back in WESG and stuff like that, they were taking Dust2 out rather than choosing to leave it in the veto process. So this all points to the fact that they probably haven't played this map too much. Not to mention the fact that just simple sort of Counter-Strike and individuals playing well is really what got Boot through that last map, Splashkey on the CT side, as well as some of the individuals making really good plays on the T side, is what allowed Boot to actually win that map up against Alpha Red in the last map that we watched on Nuke. So all of those factors together, the fact that Alpha Red is less willing to play it than Boot is, they first ban it most of the time, not to mention that these Boot players are just individually playing quite a bit better than Alpha Red are at the moment. I don't think this is going to be a map that Alpha Red's able to take away.
No, I think we're both in agreement there, but look, stranger things do tend to happen, particularly in Boot Dreamscape games. I could definitely remember times where I've said, hey, Boot Dreamscape should literally 2-0 this match. No problems at all, and then they've gotten 2-0 themselves. They just don't turn up sometimes. So I don't know that that's going to necessarily be the case today, especially because we've seen Boot Dreamscape now a little warmed up there on Nuke. Splashkey's looking good. Devi's looking good. It should be Boot Dreamscape to take here 2-0, but I always sort of say that with a grain of salt when it comes to this particular team, especially now since all of those roster changes. But it seems like it's been a good enough night for Boot Dreamscape tonight. See what Alpha Red can do here. If what you say is true about them not picking and playing Dust2 all that much, it is difficult to believe that they're going to be able to pick up a win here. But CT side start obviously leaves most of the onus on Boot Dreamscape. And already a quick push actually out from Alpha Red. It's SDK and KNTZ to find a couple of kills. They've spotted the bomb as well. Boot Dreamscape have kind of just been run over in this pistol.
Yeah, so it really looked like Boot Dreamscape. I mean, they had 3 people with utility and no armor and a lot of P250s across the board. It looked like they were going for some kind of really set play. It looked like one of their players was with the utility was trying to help take some mid or cat control with an Xbox smoke and some flashes over towards middle, with 2 players coming out lower, and then maybe they were going to try and split mid to B or go out B with the P250s and look for peaks. Look, none of that really happened, because what happened was your boys on Alpha Red just moved up middle and shot everyone. Speaking of shooting everyone in the head with certain weapons, Splashkey's pretty good at that, and he's already taken out Olivia on the cross there. Now Bobasaur really prodding at mid. He saw Myrol's move as the B rotated towards that CT side, so they're going to be very well aware that there should only be one CT on the B side of the map. Let's see if Boot do decide to do something about that. Mid to B smoke thrown out. 2 CTs ready to fight here for Alpha Red.
2 CTs ready to kind of get lined up there by Boot Dreamscape, but in the end they actually do manage to find their way back through the smoke. Splashkey continuing the good work with the scoped rifles, and Benkai aware, very aware indeed of Myrol's, and all of a sudden Alpha Red, it seems as though this round's starting to fall apart a little bit. Red Fox, well, it's Foxes that goes down, I should say, in the B bomb site, and SDK on his own. It's a little worrisome now.
Got 2 flashes to work with and a kit, so he can sort of take his time a little bit. Both of these players are armored.
Benkai's got the AUG with the armor as well, and Devi certainly capable with the Deagle. SDK's been spotted, and now it's just a case of making sure that they hit their shots, Boot Dreamscape, and they are. Benkai holding the line. The flashbang comes through. It's no concern for him at all. And there's the round win for Boot Dreamscape. So Alpha Red, yeah, it was a fleeting moment of hope, I suppose.
Good CT pistol, but unfortunately, I mean, Splashkey again is so good at shooting through objects into heads and winning rounds or making rounds easily winnable for Boot very early on in the piece. It's a good skill to have. One I wish I was a little better at personally.
Yeah.
It's actually the save out from Alpha Red. They don't want to force with this kind of money. Interesting. They get the stack B. Boot, they're chilling. They're waiting for that top mid push. They're waiting for any kind of pressure on long. They don't want anything to do with the B tunnels.
Seems fair enough after how the pistol round went.
It's going to be a flash over the top of the hut there. Or is that a molly? Oh, it's a molly. I like it. Nice structured sort of utility being used to cut down the amount of angles you have to check. Flash from Alex to send 2 of the lads out long. I think, speaking of anti-ecos, better way to sort of resolve a round like that is probably over towards long because, you know, longer lines of sight and all that. If you're shooting at a guy with a USP and you've got an AK down long yard and you're not winning that fight, then I don't know what to tell you, mate.
Don't know if I'd want to listen anyway.
Fair enough.
Boot have taken control of long, and then they've just sort of filtered back out. Obviously, you've left Benkai down there to keep an eye on the area. Are they going to rotate all the way over to B here?
Is that Molotov go? Is that elevator? It's beautiful stuff. See, another. This is going to be another case of Benkai going, guys.
But do they have time to rotate across now? I suppose they still do, but that call has to come in really quickly.
It's not happening. Uh-oh. No, they're doing it. All right, good.
Benkai just going to make sure that no one can rotate across from the B bomb site here.
Benkai, the hero of the anti-ecos thus far in the series.
It's just like me, dude.
It's like that dude that sees the tsunami coming and runs all the way back into town.
It's kind of impressive in a way, I think, that Boot Dreamscape have done that twice now. You know, a lot of the time I just see teams walk into a stack without doing the appropriate scouting. So I'm impressed, at least for Boot Dreamscape here. You're feeling sad about that grenade, though.
Impressed that they're impressed with their inability to throw. Right. So Alpha Red, as I said in the last round, I'm surprised they saved. They're going to save again off the back of that, which they would have done whether they forced or saved in the last round anyway. This would probably indicate to me that they are more interested in getting a lot of utility and double orbs on the CT side, which, you know,
fair enough. But
I think so.
That said, like I don't think we really saw any standout AWP performances from Alpha Red on
Definitely not.
So if you're going to go for 1, okay, but then even 2, that's almost raising a question for me. Maybe they didn't get the ball rolling as much as they wanted to on Nuke. Again, it is a bit more, I think, difficult to just sit a line with an AWP than it is maybe on Dust2. At least you don't associate it with it as much.
I think CT side Dust2 nowadays is very much predicated off AWP performance and utility, though. 2 very, very important factors to have a successful CT side on the Dust2.
Yeah.
Fox is practicing his reading skills. Probably the most useful thing he's going to be able to do in this round, considering he has a USP and no armor.
It's going to be a fat grenade.
What was that, Jordan?
Where did it go?
Sorry, dude. It landed behind the pixel of a wall. Like a dust particle blocked all the damage. So, yeah.
I just saw like
what nades work in CS.
3 CTs lined up and the grenade flying at their heads and then 0 damage.
Yeah, sorry. Unfortunately, there was a rock on the ground. I know it exploded in midair, but there was a rock on the ground and they just don't take damage. It soaked up all the shrapnel.
Got it.
Yep. CSGO for you.
KNTZ... I don't know what he wants to do here. I guess save the Deagle armor.
Think about how they're going to win.
How are they going to win?
They're going to need to step up individually, that's for sure. Get those AWPs rolling. Stop these boot guys getting too confident. They're cocky. They're too cocky, Jordan.
Well, they may be cocky in this matchup, but I don't think that they'll be cocky about the next matchup. You know, because that is the game, when we look at the players that are on Lucid Dream, you know, you've got some of the best, if not the best players in Thailand on that roster. And they're on a bit of a tear right now as well.
Straight into the double whopper. Olivia and my roles. Sounds like some kind of romance novel, maybe.
Jeez. Let's not keep going down the list, Billy.
Alex is just... They're all just walking straight up cat. Okay. And where's the AWPer? Olivia's actually looking towards long right now. KNTZ... He's in position with the AUG. Going to be a catwalk execute from Boot. They have so much utility. They're lining up a bunch of smokes. KNTC is going to be under so much pressure. The lad's going to have to get 1 or 2 kills for himself, because if he gets taken out very quickly here, the retake's going to be difficult for Alpha Red. These B players are nowhere in position to be able to retake middle or B tunnel. They're going mid to B. It's a fake.
Or have they caught him on timing? Alpha Red get the important information because of Fox, but it's not going to matter if all these kills still come across. But 3 players on the B bomb site. Do they expect Myrol still in the upper tunnels? Well, even if they didn't, he's only going to be able to go 1 for 1, and that's not enough. 4 players left for Boot Dreamscape. B bomb site taken, bomb down. That's not possible to retake.
Definitely not. Alpha Red made the correct decision, pushing tunnels there with the AWP, but when Bobosaur is just running through that door smoke and ripping your head off like that, I don't know what else you can do, to be honest. Pretty nice set play out from Boot there, showing the catwalk execute, and they're just gunning it mid to B. Worked out beautifully for them.
Somehow SDK is just destroying Boot, though.
Yeah, on the exits, for sure. I really have to say, though, if Alpha Red were just a little bit more on point individually, that could have been a different story. Like, they made the correct decision in terms of how they sort of reacted to that. They dropped the smoke on the door. Old Mate was tucked into car there. Myrolls was in upper tunnel with the AWP. Positioning all around was pretty good to be able to defend that, but Boot just a little bit too sharp. Now, 2 of the guns saved over for Alpha Red have potential to do a bit more damage in this round. Boot going pretty quickly down mid here. Flash has already been expended towards middle doors, and Benkai is going to go for a little bit of a peek. Alex and Bobosaur together get a peek onto middle there. Benkai throws the smoke onto mid to B. It's already AWPs down, unretrievable for the CTs.
Yeah, Benkai might not have too fun of a time if these players end up pushing the smoke. Bobosaur is helping him out, though. Can't actually land the spray onto STK. But when all's said and done, Boot Dreamscape are going to be happy with this. They've gotten rid of the AWP. They're going to get the round on the board. Well, now they've definitely gotten rid of the AWP. See if they can get rid of that AUG as well. It's going to be ideal. But I think it's not really too big of a factor for Boot Dreamscape. They are looking far and away the better team here on Dust2. I think it's fair to say.
I think they were the better team on Nuke as well, at least as individuals, and especially towards the end of that.
At least on Nuke, I felt like you could make an argument for Alpha Red.
Yep.
But here on Dust2, I'm not really getting that same sense.
Yep, I'd have to agree with you.
That said, we haven't seen many gun rounds out from Alpha Red just yet.
They've taken a double eco, but just the way that Boot's sort of maneuvering around the map, the fact that, you know, Alpha Red, who's really been getting kills? Like, who's really been trying to stop Boot from running all over them?
That's right. Like, you couldn't really name an individual. I suppose now looking at the scoreboard, STK has, but a lot
of those were exits.
Yeah, you can't. I don't associate a name in my mind right now with someone on Alpha Red that's performing well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Normally, when you're watching a game of Counter-Strike and I ask you who's doing the work for Boot Dreamscape or for Alpha Red, you could name 1 or 2.
Yep.
But right now, nothing comes to mind for Alpha Red.
Would have to agree with you. Paws going to be coming out, and Alpha Red, I mean, I like their approach to be able to conservatively save very early on to try to get the double orbs rolling and get all the utility that they might need to be able to win this game. It's good to see. They're going to go for it again because that last round in particular was pretty straightforward, a set play from Boot. They took the cat control fairly quickly, and then they went for that cat execute into a fast mid to B, which worked pretty beautifully. Again, very, very fast cat control, which is uncontested from any of the AWPers.
Yeah.
I'm just very confused about Alpha Red's approach with these double AWPs. Like, they've bought the double AWPs very early on here, but they're not going for these picks towards catwalk or towards middle when Boot's going for the map control. They're just sort of sitting back and holding angles. They're allowing Boot to go wherever they want. The mid to B split's coming out. It's 1 minute 25 seconds on the clock. They're already pushing B.
And Boot do not care. Benkai has been spotted by Fox. Information will go over to the rest of the Boot Dreamscape guys, and that is the B site cracked open. One of the AWPs has dropped. The 3 remaining players for Alpha Red are in that, again, that sticky situation of saying, hey, we're down 5-1 rounds. Probably going to be down 6-1 rounds. We'd love to retake, but it's the B bomb site. We haven't played down. So realistically, you can't.
No, you can't.
But then, again, you just feel like you're giving up a round for free.
Well, they're giving up a round for free as a result of the fact they're not contesting Boot from taking any of this map control. they're just sitting back in very standard positions. It doesn't seem like they have the fundamental understanding of the fact that, hey, if we let Boot have mid doors, if we let Boot just run straight up catwalk, then they can just do whatever they want, and they are.
Yeah, Boot's really getting on top of Alpha Red here, and I think you're starting to get an idea as to why Alpha Red do see Dust2 as one of their primary vetoes, one of their primary bans. It was a solid effort from Fox. He did a fair bit of damage to Alex, but really the best you could hope for there was maybe 2 kills, and even then that would not have mattered.
They're basically doing the equivalent at the moment of playing Inferno, but every round they just sit in the B bomb site and don't contest Banana at all. Like, they're just letting Boot run around the map and take map control wherever the hell they want, and they don't do anything about it, and then Boot just executes their game plan onto whatever bomb site, 5 versus 2 or whatever, and fairly easily comes away with the round. And thus far, it's just been into B time and time again. Have they even gone on the A bomb site yet?
No.
They've just been smacking mid to B time and time again.
The one time they went on A was when Benkai sort of figured out that it was a full stack on B.
Yeah.
This will be the first round.
I mean, it's an anti-eco, so they're kind of just using that long control. Again, Benkai, he's the player on the other side of the map, gathering the info, making sure nobody's pushing.
Not really much to say for Alpha Red so far here on Dust2. With the money as well for Boot Dreamscape. Like, that, I think, shows just how dominant they have been, even if the scoreline itself didn't. And you see almost no world in which now Alpha Red starts to come back from this here on Dust2. Like, they have essentially been ground, for lack of a better word, into the dust.
They're letting Boot just, you know, run their game plan or whatever, but that doesn't bode well for the rest of the half. Even if they start to adapt now and they start to go, all right, now we're going to go aggressively try to pick catwalk, now we're going to go for a bit of an aggressive mid setup or something and try to stop Boot from doing this. Like, you haven't had enough sample size for whatever Boot's second layer of T-side or third layer of T-side is. All they've had is Boot just smacking the mid to B round in, round out, and apart from that, they've got no data on what Boot like to do on their default or what Boot like to do on this or that round. Like, literally their data thus far is, we sat on bomb sites, Boot went mid to B and we lost.
So what do you do then as Alpha Red?
You try to stop them from doing that in particular, and then past that, you gotta wonder, is Boot going to start to adapt? Maybe you start to mix in some aggressive play and start playing more assertive as a team yourself, so that you stop Boot just doing whatever they want, and it's less about Boot's game plan and just Boot's game plan alone. You start to be like, all right, now I'm going to take control of this game.
Once again, Boot Dreamscape have the same setup that they have had in the past for that mid to B. Trade for Divine, but he does lose a lot of his HP as a result. The AWP will go into his hands. Splashkey was the player that went down. So it's looking a little bit better for Alpha Red than it has, but I mean, you're not seeing any changes on the CT side.
There's nothing different. The only difference there is that he had a better position this time, and he was able to catch someone unawares. So fundamentally the exact same thing is happening. The only difference is that KNTZ was able to shoot someone with his gun not out.
Well, that'll be the B bomb side again, cracked open.
There's no adaptation. They're not changing anything, and they're losing fun in the same way every single round, time again.
Yeah. Bulbasaur just does not care.
I mean, at the moment, it looks like Alpha Red does not care.
Mm. Well, whatever the case, it's definitely going to pose a few questions for Alpha Red when it comes to not only the veto, but then also what they could do here on Dust2. I mean, look at this. Like, Boot have literally thrown away 4 guns. Well, 3, I suppose. Trying to chase down the remaining Alpha Red players, and it's not even going to make... Ooh!
What did they ban instead of this?
Inferno.
But, okay. So this is their CT side on Dust2, a map that they first ban every time. They chose to first ban Inferno, a map that's almost always a third map decider.
Mm.
And Boot just picked this instead of it. Imagine if this was Inferno instead, which it probably wouldn't have been, because that's usually the third map decider for both of these teams.
Yeah, I wonder what Boot would have chosen in that case.
it just, I don't know, man. Like maybe train or something? Probably
yeah,
train.
Probably. Well, Benkai is just going to creep his way into middle. KNTZ biding his time, but Bulbasaur is watching. So this is really a game of timing now. And if KNTZ doesn't peak, then, oh dear. Look at this. Boot have literally walked through middle.
How is it happening? Like, I don't have any analysis. I'm just repeating myself every time. It's the exact same setup. It's a 2-1-2 where KNTZ sits in CT spawn, and then they go mid to B and they lose. Like, what else am I meant to say at this point?
I don't know. It's just not been Alpha Red's night here on Dust2. I think that much is obvious. You know, like, again, if it takes Boot 5 seconds more to get through middle, maybe KNTZ peeks up and takes a double kill, or I don't know. But maybe if KNTZ feeling a bit more confident, he peeks again a little earlier and finds a double kill there. It's just that kind of timing, I think, really sums up how this has kind of been for Alpha Red. Like, they just haven't had anything.
For me, it's not about the timing. It's just about the fact that they're trying to slam their heads into a brick wall doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Change something. Do something differently. Like, now you don't have the money to do it. Okay, fine. Maybe go for a pistol armor. Something. I don't know. But this isn't working for you. Like, just send 3 of the lads up catwalk. Do something. Like, leave long open. Boots never touch long. I know it sounds silly to leave like a really important part of the map open, but when one team's doing the exact same thing to you every single time.
I mean, I can understand where you're coming from at this point. Not necessarily in this round, I suppose. It doesn't make much of a difference here, but Boot have been not tested at all toward the B-bomb side.
Actually, I have a story about this where, like, the reason why this makes me so frustrated is because, you know, when I was playing myself, I literally played against the guy who usually does the observing here, MC, and he went to the same bomb site 15 rounds in a row, and I never adapted, and I lost that game. Like, you always have to do something different when this kind of thing's happening.
It's probably just because MC's a better gamer than you.
Probably. Look, yeah, there's probably a lot of data to back that up. Multiple games.
Whoa.
Whoa, alright.
Well, let's see a little bit more of that. I like that Alex is like almost trying to save his gun here. It looks like it, but obviously it doesn't matter, and in the end Alex is going to get the kill. Oh, that's so funny.
Alright, Fox, just buy a duck deck, mate. Like, you got 7k. Sit on... I don't know, sit on the thing, the little scaffold outside of B, and just stare at mid to B with the Dak. You may as well. Why not?
Double AWP though.
Double AWP.
So no Dak.
Tagged on the cross. The 2-1-2 setup again. This time Boot's really pressuring Cat along rather than middle. Bashki just picks one in middle.
It's a little bit different, finally, from Boot.
But they still have full control of the map uncontested.
Again, it's a very similar setup for Alpha Red.
Yep. At least, like, this is something different. He's trying to actually contest them before the execute comes in.
Yeah, but that aim and the firepower for Boot Dreamscape, as we spoke about on Nuke, is definitely a lot stronger than it is for Alpha Red. You're seeing the individual aim battles, and they almost always are going the way of Boot. I mean, 6 deaths there for Benkai over the course of 11 rounds, I should say. You'll see much the similar stat, I think, for the majority of Boot. So they're just not dying. I still don't know where this really leaves us, though, for the final. Like, at this point, I'm assuming Boot Dreamscape goes through, as I'm sure most are. But I don't know that Boot Dreamscape are going to get away this easily against Lucid Dream. You know what I mean? Like, Lucid Dream is actually going to be able to beat them in aim duels.
Yeah, it's a good warm-up for Boot, I guess. So now, again, they've got max loss bonus. Probably pistol armor. Save for the next. Try and get the last 2 gun rounds on the board. MP9, why not at this point? How many times has Splash Key tagged someone or killed someone on the cross this game as well?
A lot.
Beautiful.
Ooh. Hey, there's a better start.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're starting to realise, hey, Boot's just running out middle and catwalk. Maybe if I just go position myself in those areas and wait for them, something might happen. They're in a 5-on-2, so this is looking like they've got control of the bomb as well. Looking like an Alpha Red round. Oh, what is that?
Alex needed to hit those two if there was a chance for Boot Dreamscape to win. Well, never mind. Oh, I was going to say Splash Key could still make this happen. Guess not this time.
All right. So Alpha Red have second round on the board in I guess, away. I don't know they did anything too impressive there other than sort of recognise that Boot's just pugging it straight out wherever they want. We're going to chill in some corners. Again, tag on the cross to the B player. This time, Bulbasaur is actually punished, trying to go for that long peek and get some information, which is good. KNTZ, though, he pushes up middle. I mean, you have to be aware that Boot's making their way up catwalk, but when you got the man advantage, it doesn't really make sense to go for that push anymore. Olivia pulls it back, though. And he's put himself for the first time in aggressive position to stop people pushing up catwalk, and he's going to back up Foxes who's fighting in middle there. This is much better from Alpha Red.
Yeah, it comes a little too late though, you feel. Like the best case scenario for Alpha Red here is 4. Gotten 3 now. It's still going to be another buy for Boot Dreamscape, so maybe the adaptation just comes a little bit too late in this one for the series, really.
And I think Davai might be their highest rated player this series. I'm not 100% on that, but
Splashy would have been a lot higher last map.
I think it evened out a lot, actually.
Did it?
Yeah.
I thought Benkai was the one that kind of came back in the end, not necessarily Davai. We will see, I suppose, at the end of tonight.
Now, this is literally the first time that they've had to do that long take, and it's the 15th round of the half.
That's what I'm saying. Still, somehow, Olivia is going to find 2, spamming away through the smoke, but being pressured, needs the backup, and it's going to be Fox to give it to him. Splashkey in a 1v2 from a 1v3. Still winnable if he can push them to the A-bomb site here and get the kill onto Myrolls. Doesn't know that the last player is around the back, though, and that is the key factor. The noise being made, but KNTZ too far.
Oh, how has that happened, Jordan?
What? I've literally just stood up and like...
Only Splash Key can make you make faces like that.
If you could have seen my reaction, if we could have like a replay of the caster cam and put that in a pip, that would be ideal. But, geez.
Do you reckon that was a classic case of Alpha Red have played Boot on this map in practice and Boot have just gone, well, since we've played them before, we're just going to mid to B for like 10 rounds in a row and throw them off?
Maybe.
Because it really felt like Alpha Red was like not reacting to that at all. They were like, well, in practice, they hit us on long like that every time.
Yeah, I don't think you can keep doing that. You can't say, oh, in practice. Like, this isn't practice anymore.
Because I've had games like that in the past where I'm like, it's coming. Like, surely they're going to do their like set default this time around. Like, I'm going to set up for that. And then they just keep like catching you off with just weird, like playing completely differently or whatever. Look, probably reading into it too much. I mean, Alpha Red have very little maps in terms of officials on Dust2, so I think it's just literally a case of Boot's just a bit better on this map.
It's definitely a case of Boot's better on this map. Why that is, maybe for better minds than ours to discuss. But 12-3 for Boot. You can almost book your ticket to at least the final here. Not necessarily to Sydney just yet for Boot. I'm not that confident about them against Lucid Dream, but that's obviously a discussion for later on down the track. For now, they need to finish off Alpha Red, and that's a good way to start in the pistol with Bulbasaur dispatching of KNTZ. And Benkai just watching the angle here, tapping away. Needs some backup from his teammates though, as he's being pressured a little bit, especially with that headshot coming across. Maybe there's still something in this one for Alpha Red, because the A-bomb site's very open, actually. Bulbasaur at least is controlling long, so that puts a bit of a spanner in the works.
Yeah, I think Boot's setting up in a decent sort of stance to be able to retake this. They're taking the catwalk control now. As long as Bulbasaur's alive, it sort of leaves Alpha Red in no man's land on the site.
Oof. 1-for-1 trade is pretty good here for Boot Dreamscape. They have the player advantage, but the short guys aren't doing enough work, and Alpha Red just taps them down.
That's just a case of the T's hitting shots much more cleanly than the CTs did coming in on that retake.
Yeah. Happens, I guess.
Does indeed.
Benkai would be feeling like he could have probably done more from long there. Just tapping away. It's never easy, though. All right, 12-4. Double scout out here for Boot. And we know Splashkey's already had an impact with the scout here on this map. And there it is again. I didn't even need to look at the top right to see who it was. I just knew that it was Splashkey.
Got that special connection.
Yeah, me and him.
T's have a little bit of long control. They're about to go into contact. Oh, Splashkey gets caught off guard here. Now Bobo and Devi sort of posted up on the cross. Smoke goes down. Fox is able to creep out mid there and get a pick onto Bobo and make his way up catwalk. These TTs are nowhere near this A bomb site. Bomb's moving its way through T spawn for some reason. There you go. Fox doing great work in middle, so they're shutting down this force buy. Good stuff from Alpha Red. All right, Jordan. All right, they're coming back into it. Okay.
I don't know I would say that word just yet.
I don't know. You know, we haven't seen any gun rounds yet, but yeah.
It's going to be the caster curse for sure. Yeah, we haven't seen a single gun round, so give me at least 2 or 3 gun rounds from Alpha Red before I start to feel like it's possible.
It's going to be the delayed cross from Boot.
Or is it just going to be the 5-man run down mid-strat? I've seen this before. ACL Melbourne, Animal Squad.
Oh, God. Did it work as well as this?
Pretty much, yeah. It was tragic. Gun round to come, though, for Boot. This is where things get a little bit more exciting.
Are they going to double dorp straight off the bat? Devi, man, this guy's, he's okay with, he's a rifler now. His AWPing days are behind him.
Yeah.
It's probably a good sign, to be honest. Like, it doesn't actually make economical sense to go for the AWP here that much. Benkai's going to get it, though.
Well, there goes your argument out the window.
I guess so. He's actually going to take it to B really early on here, and they're going to, whoop.
Fancy that. You roll around the corner and then you're dead. And then
Yeah.
Splashkey's going to push for some more. If he didn't strafe right, I think he would have spotted KNTZ there and got him.
So, instead KNTZ did the good old, I'm going to jump up on the hood of your taxi and shoot you through a door.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Yep.
Mid to B. Hey, we've seen this before.
If Boot's going to be as good at defending it as they were as attacking with it.
Oh, you just get team flashed?
See,
No.
that's something. When did we ever see them do that on Alpha Red?
Never.
Just the B rotator flash for the CT player or the third Abe guy. Not once. And that's like pretty basic stuff on Dust2, CT side. They throw out the mid to B smoke. Devi just goes, how about I just throw a molly and stop your entire plan?
If only it was so easy.
It is. It's not if you're Alpha Red.
STK is creeping around, having a look. Bomb will be retrieved by KNTZ.
That's not a cross smoke.
No, it's not. Devi knows that he's not really under too much pressure because Bulbasaur can see what's going on.
Are they saving?
Looks like it. The question is, are they saving? They want to. Are they actually going to save? Maybe Boot doesn't let them.
I don't think you really have the money to be stopping them. If you're Boot. So, I'd say they will. He still have pretty good money. Throw the AWP over onto Olivia.
Well, that's the losers round bonus, Billy. That's the change. You know?
Alright. I like it. I would probably have a completely different opinion on it if I was playing as actively as I used to.
Yeah.
But just from watching, from a viewer's perspective, I like seeing more gun rounds and competitive games.
I don't disagree. I've always said, like, pistol rounds never seem to be worth it.
My rolls, getting on a roll. Gets himself an entry onto Devi over towards long.
An important one as well.
Very important. All entries are important.
All entries are equal.
I never said that.
Okay.
They're just going to leave long. They get that entry over towards long. By rolls, he's still rolling.
Well, Bulbasaur smartly gets out of there because that Molotov would have been a big problem for him. Splash, you're going to play aggressively. Won't see too much just yet, but this may be Boot's way back into the round. If he continues to hold this line, Alpha Red look like they could peek their head up.
Very important round for Alpha Red to be coming away with to really put their foot in the door of this half.
Benkai's also watching the upper tunnel with an AWP here, so may not be the easiest of tasks getting into B, but... Oh, hello, Bulbasaur? I'm sure he spotted him. Well, Benkai definitely knows now, but he's going to be wrapped on from both sides. Need to hit that shot. Takes a bit of a peek in towards tunnels. A couple of quick kills going the way of Boot here. Splashki and Benkai. The orbs making an impact. And goodness me, Splashki. He is a man on a mission. Definitely did not want Olivia surviving there. KNTC drops. I don't know what it was, but Benkai got 3 with the orb. And now we're at 14 for Boot. What an explosive round that was.
That's just hesitation getting the best of Alpha Red. They gave Splashki about 40 seconds to
sounds like Nuke.
Walk up catwalk and jump through mid doors with an AWP and just rain down terror. That shouldn't be allowed to happen, Jordan. Can't believe you've done this.
Don't ask me, ask Boot. Or Alpha Red, I suppose, in that situation. Still. 2 more rounds to find for Boot.
They have money for Alpha Red as well.
Ish.
No, that's a pretty decent buy. I mean, 2 Deagles. It's not ideal, but it's something. So Boot's going to have to work for this round. If they do win this round, though, it's going to be very hard for Alpha Red to come away with the next one. Alpha Red sort of just, you know, chilling around the middle of the map. Trying to take some catwalk control through this smoke. They've done it. KNTZ gets a pick onto middle as well.
Benkai's changed his position up now. He's playing on the A side. And Splashki is the one on B. So I'm not sure what the reasoning for that is.
Here comes the catwalk push.
I think this is where you'd really want Splashki to be the one playing at car, but we'll see what Benkai can do. He did hit a few nice shots in the last round, being backed up by Bulbasaur. Benkai will get 1 but traded out. Bulbasaur also 1 and traded out.
For a team that doesn't play Dust2 very much, that was quite a nice catwalk execute, Jordan. Smoke onto progression smoke to help them get out with the flashes. They had a smoke on CT. They even had a flash over to, a smoke over towards car to block off the AWPer's line of sight.
I guess you need to have something in your back pocket, don't you?
Yes, so. So this was really, I mean, last round would have really been the round to give them a much better chance in this game. I guess, as that meme about deleting your post is, the next best opportunity is the next round.
I don't know the meme.
Okay, I'll show it to you later.
Well, Alpha Red are putting in a little bit of a name for themselves now, you know? It's not a complete and utter drubbing, right? Even if you go down 16-7, you still have 7 rounds on the board. Like, it definitely looks a lot better than something like 4 or 3.
Wow. The ticket code to save on your tickets is actually the boys?
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you tried it?
Have not.
It's probably the only way you're getting to IEM, let's be fair.
I guess so. Unfortunate. I did watch it last year. It always falls right near my birthday, so it's like I'm giving myself a nice little birthday
Bill's
present.
birthday, man.
Yeah.
What is this setup for Boot? Big presence over toward B, middle. Not a whole lot on long.
Yeah, you got to give up something.
Yep.
Pretty common to go for a bit of the old catwalk middle sort of approach. Put a bit of a spanner in the works. You let them have long, and then you sort of just dictate the pace of the round from that catwalk site position if they come up long. I think for Alpha Red is it's going to be a bit one-dimensional if they really force their way up long here. With the right utility and positioning from Boot, they could get a lot done here with the rifles.
Oh, Alex. I didn't think that was going to hit, but Olivia's down. And now 5v4 with the rotation starting to come across from Boot, looking a little dangerous for Alpha Red. Divine may be under a bit of pressure here, but he peeks out and still manages to get one. All the kills going the Alpha Red way. And now it's Splashkey in a 1v2. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, though, as he should know where these players are. The grenade will do enough to get rid of Fox. Molotov, I think, helping out as well. I don't know if this was the play, dropping down into CT.
The play if he wants a jumping AWP, KNTZ.
That's true. Oh! What? I can't believe that.
Oh, I called it, Jordan. I've called it.
That's got to... Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. That's going to be the nail in the coffin. It's Splashkey. It's your boy.
That hurt my hands as much as I think it hurt Alpha Red.
The amount of times every series Splashkey gets you up and out of your seat.
Oh, my God. Well, I mean, what can you say?
Nice.
Nice, yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice.
That's pretty nice too.
Well, this is pretty fast win to be. All 5 of the lads are here for Alpha Red. They're going to be running up at Splashkey. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull off as fantastic of a result as last round.
No, definitely not. Not this time. Here comes the rest of Boot through
What
the
is
smoke.
Boot doing?
They thought the game was over. They thought they only needed 15.
They're out of money, Jordan. They've got no cash. I think they got a bit excited.
Yeah, I think so.
Like us.
Look at that. Look at Benkai just giving us the shifty eyes.
Bit of a shifty bloke after his time in the army. He's had one too many dodgy experiences.
There he is.
Oh, my lord.
That's a what face in the chat from me.
Okay, so now Boot, they're being forced to eco. Got a bit too overexcited in that last round, I would say. But they have the round buffer to be able to make these kind of mistakes, like all 4 of your rotators running through a mid to B smoke in one at a time.
Oh no, it was a good flash. I thought they might actually be able to line a few of those Alpha Red players up, but seems as though Crisis has been averted.
There you go, Venkai. You did your best.
Now what you really don't want to see is Boot like somehow manage to throw this map. Because that actually is like the Boot way. You know what I mean? Like the map should be over.
You said that they've won. You said they've won already, and now...
I don't think I said that. I said they thought that they'd won already.
Okay. Sorry. We'll amend that statement. It's going to be the save out from Boot now. Again, because, I mean, they threw away a double eco after that mid to B round.
Nice.
And come on, lads, it's the other way. Don't turn towards the flash every time. Catwalk control for Alpha Red as they posture towards middle. Ooh, there's going to be a juicy nade from Alex. Oh, mate, get it in there. You've heard the flash. You know they're there. Oh, a bit too late. Not too bad. Could have been better, though.
Okay,
ooh, okay. All right, look, there's some damage going on.
Oh, Bulbasaur. Man, I just wanted to see a few of those heads fall off when they were crossing short, because that would have legit been the dream. Not for Alpha Red, certainly not, but for Boot Dreamscape, what a way to finish that off. Splashy's gotten 2 though, and he's got an AK as well. So too does Devi.
No, not like this. Come on, Alpha.
We're going to get another jumping kill. Come on, surely Devi can... Well, that wasn't exactly the jumping kill that I wanted, but I guess that'll do it.
He's picked up the AWP.
He wants to try the Splashkey. Oh, he's going to get it too, isn't he? Well, Splashy does, if not him. 4 for Splashkey in the round and 1 for Devi.
Cue the epic music once they win the eco in the most anticlimactic way possible.
The HUD's getting excited as well. It's a party here, but it's Boot Dreamscape that are going to go through to the finals. They'll face Lucid Dream. A good way to finish it off, I thought, for Boot Dreamscape. Splashkey with the jumping orb shot onto B-bomb site. A-bomb site, we'll even say. All in the end, I think. we had fun. That's the main thing for Boot Dreamscape.
Yeah. And I think this is some of the last fun that they'll be having as they're going up against a pretty tough opponent in the next one. But I won't count them out. I actually think they should be able to at least take a map. But we'll see how it sort of all pans out. As for Alpha, I mean, you couldn't have really expected too much. I'm sort of scratching my head at the veto process that they would choose to play a map like Dust2 in a high-pressure game like this when you've got no competitive maps on record on the map, at least as far as I could see on HLTV, rather than playing a map that you've left in as the third place decider in a couple different series of Inferno. Bit of a head scratcher from me, but I guess, I mean, it didn't work out for them. They tried to go for a little bit of a risk. Not really something they did. I guess they kind of banked on the fact that Boot hasn't played that much Dust2 in officials either. I was really struggling to find a series that they played it too much. They've sort of left it in as a third map decider, Dust2 themselves.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe they were also expecting to do a little bit better on Nuke and put it through to the third and final map as well. Lots of arguments there that you could put on for Alpha Red, but end of the day, this has not been a bad run actually from Alpha Red all the way to what is now the lower bracket final. Like, they haven't been able to do that in the past, so I think that's definitely something that they can take heart in and be sort of happy about. Now, what is coming in the future for Alpha Red, who knows? I mean, who knows if in 2 or 3 months they'll have not had some massive roster changes and be a completely different team or org. But when all's said and done, I think really it still continues that storyline of TICS kind of on the rise here in Southeast Asia. Even if Boot Dreamscape has beaten one team tonight, they still have another Thai team to go up against, and it's sort of a different beast for me. So for me, 2-0 Boot Dreamscape, kind of an expected result actually, but this next one, I mean, jury's really out for Boot Dreamscape, especially if they're making some of the mistakes that they made tonight that weren't necessarily punished by Alpha Red. Like, you could look at that Nuke game and say, hey, that really, I mean, on both sides could have been a little bit cleaner, and I don't know that Lucid Dream's going to let those sort of things slip.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I'm going to back Lucid Dream as well. I think it'll probably be a 2-1 for them, but I would actually probably prefer to see a team like Boot Dreamscape make it through to a tournament like IEM Sydney. Like, Thai CS, they're doing really well in Southeast Asia, and they're doing a good job at dominating sort of their little corner of the globe or whatever, but when you look at a broader scale, what has Thai CS really accomplished in terms of taking on the rest of Asia and international competition as well?
Well, I guess that's something that we also have to kind of answer when it comes to IEM Sydney. Maybe this is their first opportunity to really be able to do something like that if they get their best team here.
Yep.
And in all respects, like, the majority of the teams that came through from the Asian region and the ANZ region to IEM Sydney last year, they didn't really perform that well. Like, Boot Dreamscape, for example, just got absolutely wrecked. MVP got wrecked. Really, everyone, I think, except for, well, Tai Lu, but they were sort of an outside again, and a different sort of a prospect, and Greyhound at the time were the only ones that really stepped up and were able to do a whole lot. Order made a close game against Cloud9, but they didn't win it, so...
Could have been a complete rewrite of history there from one round, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe what we get to see this year at IEM Sydney 2019 as well. So we've got lots to look forward to, and obviously lots more to look forward to tonight as well, as we've got one more match coming up. It's our best of 5 grand final with the 1-map advantage, of course, for Lucid Dream. We're going to head to a break, guys. Don't go anywhere. Boot Dreamscape going to try and once again qualify for IEM Sydney. Players. Boot Dreamscape still have 3, but now traded back very quickly. Olivia sells down toward the B-bomb site, but Bobasaur waiting for them and will clean up 1, maybe even 2 here with the
Alpha Red have been fantastic at getting themselves in good positions. Oh, but Splashkey, though, sort of make their way down into Secret. Fox is under a lot of pressure. Oh my god, what is that?
He just beams got 4 of them!
Splashkey now in a pretty good position, but he's going to get caught out.
Oh, did you see that? Yeah, he just spins around. They're in the works for Boot Dreamscape. I don't know that they'll expect a player this close, and indeed they do not. The bomb, and Fox is pushed out a squeaky door. It does not seem like Boot Dreamscape want to let him have that either.
He shot the guy in lobby.
Yeah, trying to chase down the remaining Alpha Red players, and it's not even going to make... Oh!
What did they ban?
If he doesn't peek, then... Oh, dear. Look at this. Boot have literally walked through middle.
How is it happening? Like, I don't have any... I know it sounds silly to leave like a really important part of the map open, but when one team's doing the exact... Now, this is literally the first time that they've had to do that long take, and it's the 15th round of the half.
That's what I'm saying. Still, somehow, Olivia... He is a man on a mission. Definitely did not want Olivia surviving there.
If he wants a jumping AWP, KNTZ.
That's true. Oh!